It is a happy day for the world.
It is a happy day for the world.
It's a day of joy for us all.
It's a day of joy for us all.
Come sing with us, come dance with us.
Come sing with us, come dance with us.
It's the birthday of our Lord.
It's the birthday of our Lord.
It is a happy day for the world.
It is a happy day for the world.
It's a day of joy for us all.
It's a day of joy for us all.
Come sing with us, come dance with us. It's the birthday of our Lord.
गजमुखा हे गजमुखा हे गजमुख नाथा विनायका गजमुखा हे गजमुखा हे गजमुख नाथा विनायका
दुर्गा भवानी माँ जय जय साई माँ
दुर्गा भवानी माँ जय जय साई
दुर्गा भवानी माँ जय जय साई माँ
दुर्गा भवानी माँ जय जय साई
काली कपालिनी माँ जय जय साई माँ
काली कपालिनी माँ जय जय साई
काली कपालिनी माँ जय जय साई माँ
काली कपालिनी माँ जय जय साई
दुर्गा भवानी माँ जय जय साई माँ
दुर्गा भवानी माँ जय जय साई
परम शिवानी माँ जय जय साई माँ
परम शिवानी माँ जय जय साई
परम शिवानी माँ जय जय साई माँ
परम शिवानी माँ जय जय साई
जगदोधारिणी माँ जय जय साई माँ
जगदोधारिणी माँ जय जय साई
जगदोधारिणी माँ जय जय साई माँ
जगदोधारिणी माँ जय जय साई
दुर्गा भवानी माँ जय जय साई माँ
भवानी माँ जय जय साई
काली कपालिनी माँ जय जय साई माँ
कपालिनी माँ जय जय साई
दुर्गा भवानी माँ जय जय साई माँ
भवानी माँ जय जय साई
परम शिवानी माँ जय जय साई माँ
परम शिवानी माँ जय जय साई
जगदोधारिणी माँ जय जय साई माँ
जगदोधारिणी माँ जय जय साई
जगदोधारिणी माँ जय जय साई माँ
जगदोधारिणी माँ जय जय साई
दुर्गा भवानी माँ जय जय साई माँ
साई राम घनश्याम भगवान तुम्हारा नाम साई राम घनश्याम भगवान तुम्हारा नाम।
शिव 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 शिरडी पुरीश्वर शंभो शंकर सांब शिव 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 शिरडी पुरीश्वर शंभो शंकर सांब शिवो भवहर पुरहर पुट्टपतीश्वर शंभो शंकर सदा शिवो पुट्टपतीश्वर शंभो शंकर सदा शिवो ओम शिव 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 शिरडी पुरीश्वर शंभो शंकर सांब शिवो कैलासाचल बाल शिवा कालकूट कर बाल शिवा कैलासाचल बाल शिवा कालकूट कर बाल शिवा शिव 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 शिरडी पुरीश्वर शंभो शंकर सांब शिवो भवहर पुरहर पुट्टपतीश्वर शंभो शंकर सदा शिवो शिव 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 शिरडी पुरीश्वर शंभो शंकर सांब शिवो कैलासाचल बाल शिवा कालकूट कर बाल शिवा शिव शिव शिरडी पुरीश्वर शंभो शंकर सांब शिव
नंदलाला यदु नंदलाला नंदलाला यदु नंदलाला वृंदावन गोविंदलाला वृंदावन गोविंदलाला
వైకుంఠధామం గోపాల చూడామణి గోపాల చూడామణి ఆత్మ విరామం ప్రభు
मन राम रहे रघु मन राम रहे साई राम कृष्ण साई राम कृष्ण
Om Shri Sai Ram. Respected elders, brothers and sisters, our lovely children, it is absolutely special to be able to sit together to celebrate the 97th Advent year of our dearest friend, Guru, Mother and Father, Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. Before we start, just a couple of housekeeping announcements. The exits can be found at the marked door behind us all. The toilets are also just where we kept our shoes on entry. In the case of an emergency, please come to the car park, but hopefully because it's raining, Swami will ensure there's no emergencies, so we don't have to stay in the rain. Thank you all for participating in the beautiful bhajans, and with the energy that we've just created, let's pass the baton on to our lovely Hamilton SSC children to come up and give some beautiful sharings on this lovely day.
Sai Ram, everybody. I am Lashangi, and I'm 10 years old. There are many good things I've learnt during SSC sessions, but here I'm going to talk about purity. First of all, what does purity mean? Purity mainly means the quality of the state of being pure. What that means is doing good in all our actions. Purity should never ever make you look down at others. Swami has said, unity, purity and divinity gives you self-awakeningness. Swami has taught us 10 types of purity, but here I'm going to tell you a few of them. First of these is purity of residence. That means the purity of the place in which one lives. It's necessary to fill the room in which one studies with a sattvic atmosphere. The pictures or other objects you see, should fill you with peace and pure thoughts. Purity and understanding is next. That means, in the family which you live, there should be no fights, as that will create a bad atmosphere. There should be a mutual understanding and cooperation, and always a sense of harmony. A harmonious atmosphere will give you true peace of mind. Purity of food, which is Sathya food. This means that none of your edible items, such as excessively sour, bitter, hot, sweet, spicy things. You should eschew registic food, such as fish or meat. Even Sathya food should not be taken in excess. Purity of drink, that is, whatever fluid you take, should also be Sathya. You should drink pure water. Alcoholic spirits should be avoided. Purity of thoughts and feelings, Sathya thoughts and feelings, are important. Students tend to neglect this factor. Only if your thoughts and feelings are pure, you can have a full benefit of a clean room, a good family, and pure food. Purity of reading and writing, that means whatever books you read or whatever you write should be pure. If you read or write something that's not pure, it warps your mind. A good book makes up for a good mind. Pure service, in which pure Sathya service, with a regard to the service, it would give you real happiness, but not just short-term happiness. And the last one is that to do work that benefits the nation. That is your occupation or profession. What is the kind of work you do? It should benefit the nation, the community too. The nation enables you to earn a living. You must see what you can give the nation in return. Some ideas to practice purity is trying to get rid of bad thoughts. You can do this by doing things that are challenging, like juggling. Doing services to the community, such as rubbish picking, tree planting, is also practicing purity. So, we all should strive to get rid of all our bad thoughts, give up our bad traits, discharge obligations with our parents, render selfless community care, and thereby redeem our lives and earn the grace of God. Goodbye for now, and see you another wonderful time. Sairam.
Sairam. My name is Ishtan, and I'm 11 years old. One of the topics that we have discussed this year was positivity. Positivity means staying happy and cheerful even when things are not going your way. Positive thinking means transforming negative thoughts into positive thoughts, noticing the positive aspects of a situation and challenging pessimistic thoughts. For me, I try to stay positive by taking things lightheartedly. For example, if I make a mistake, I will try to improve and avoid the same mistake the next time. If I see that someone else is having a hard time, I will try to lighten their mood a bit by talking to them or maybe joking around with them to put a smile on their face. You should surround yourself with good people who don't put you down when you are struggling and instead help you succeed. A bright and cheerful environment with a natural light also helps in becoming a positive thinker because it changes your mindset and the way you might think. Being positive is important because it lowers your stress and the way you look at a situation or a problem. By thinking positively, you can turn your frown upside down and make a problem look easier by looking at it in a different way. Having a positive attitude in life is very important because it helps you in reaching your goals and keeping your life, health, and relationships healthy. The following quote by Martin Luther King Jr. is a very good example of focusing on what we can do rather than what we can't by thinking positively. If you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep on moving. Thank you for listening.
Sairam, my name is Shreya. I'm 11 years old and today I will be speaking about compassion.
Having compassion means more than helping others or doing good deeds. Having compassion is more than saying nice things or being patient. When someone truly has compassion, they do have these things, but this is just scraping off the surface. I know many people who are great examples of compassion, but the main person who I think stands out the most is Mother Teresa. Mother Teresa saved countless lives and is the founder of the Missionaries for Charity. She would also daily feed the poor and help abandoned babies. Most of all, she was compassionate in everything she did, and what I've just listed doesn't even begin to say all that she's done. One of her quotes was, "There is no key to happiness, the door is always open." Just hearing that brings a smile to my face. There are, however, differences that people sometimes miss between compassion and passion. Passion is an intense feeling of love or hate. Compassion is a strong urge to help someone who has had misfortune or suffering. Even though this sounds hard to be mistaken by, it still happens often. So whatever age you are, it's never too late to start being compassionate and kind. Thank you, Sairam.
Sairam everyone, my name is Tashani and I'm 17 years old. One of the topics that our class talked about this year was self-love. Self-love, by definition, is appreciating oneself to support our physical, psychological, and spiritual growth. To me, self-love is exactly that and more. It's about treating ourselves when we need it, especially after stressful periods of time, so that we can bounce back even stronger and tackle even bigger tasks. It's about prioritizing ourselves to maintain a positive mindset and keep a healthy relationship within ourselves, which enables us to thrive. Acknowledging your efforts and progress, indulging in your favorite snacks and sweets, and forgiving yourself for making any mistakes, big or small. These are all acts that come under self-love. Personally, I practice self-love by either painting, reading, spending time with my family and friends, listening to music, or through self-care and skincare. By practicing acts of self-love, not only are you improving and caring for yourself, but you are also caring for others around you, because you will be coming back to your relationships with family and friends with a better mindset and more confidence. We all experience the ups and downs of life, and when things get tough or you feel a bit low, that is when it is important for you to love yourself a bit more. At times like these, it is also important for you to spend time with those who truly care about you and make you feel good about yourself. You don't want to be surrounding yourself with people who constantly drag your self-esteem down and make you feel less than what you really are. Above all, we deserve to feel good and confident within ourselves, where we are able to feel comfortable with whatever we do and who we are as individuals. Buddha once said, "You yourself, as much as anyone in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection." Thank you for listening.
Sairam all. My name is Arif Rajan. I am 13 years old and I attend SSE program on Sundays. One of the topics we have learned in SSE is environment and society. The related value of environment and society is right conduct. We need to develop the environment with full awareness by learning about the importance of protecting our planet and taking actions to protect the environment and its ecosystems. Healthy ecosystems clean our water, purify our air, maintain our soil, regulate the climate, recycle nutrients, and provide us with food. What are ecosystems? Ecosystems are habitats to wildlife and animals and plants. It promotes various food chains. It also controls essential ecological processes. Involves in recycling nutrients between abiotic and biotic components. It also helps in maintaining the flow of energy in an ecosystem. Moreover, it controls weeds, helps in management of grasslands and conservation of soil and wildlife. How do we as humans impact the environment? Humans impact our environment through overpopulation, pollution, global warming, climate change, water pollution, by overfishing, deforestation, acid rain, and ozone depletion. How can we improve our environment? we can improve our environment by reduce, reuse, recycle, bike or walk more, drive less, choose sustainable, plant a tree, conserve water, shop wisely, don't send chemicals into our waterways, volunteer for community services such as environment cleanups. What do I do to support the environment? As a SSE student, I have been involved in caring for the environment by planting trees, built veggie boxes on Sunday classes, planted vegetables, and learned how to take my actions help or have an adverse effect on the environment. Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba has said that selfless service is the expression of love in action, and that when this selflessness is directed towards nature, it can point us back home to God. He also warned us that irresponsible behavior towards the environment will rebound greater harm and destruction on earth as seen in recent times. Let us all take care of the environment. Loving Sairams to you all, and thank you for listening.
Sairam everybody, my name is Veer, I am 14 years old, and today I'm going to be talking about time management. So, firstly I'm going to just outline the things that are going to happen during the speech, because I don't want to waste any time. So, firstly, how to identify good time management. Secondly, how to execute good time management. And lastly, just a story to drive in those key points. So, how do you identify good time management? The first thing you can do is looking at the importance of your daily activities. By looking at the importance of your daily activities, it really helps to see the clarity between each thing. So, let's say brushing my teeth in the morning and checking my texts. There's definitely a more important thing there. I'm pretty sure we all know that. You know, the next thing is when you see someone's disorganized, even if it's yourself, you know you're doing something wrong. This is really important because when you feel disorganized, look disorganized, you are disorganized. And this basically just makes your life very difficult to live. The next thing I'd like to say is how we can execute good time management and how we can fix bad habits. So first, after we identified our good time management and how we identify the different activities in our day, we can then organize them in different ways. So for instance, if I know that I will procrastinate on something, which I do, like the speech, then I will always try and do it, right? Because I know I'll do the thing that I have to do before I do the thing that I want to do. This is something that my mom has told me so many times, so I don't get this right too much, but yeah. The last thing I have to say is just a quick story to nail in this point. So, there is a lecturer, a professor, who's busy talking to a group of highly achieved students. He is busy trying to do a demonstration to just explain time management to them. He takes out a bucket and puts it on the table. He then throws a bunch of huge rocks into it, and then asks all of the students, is the bucket full? All of the students say yes, and he says, no, it is not full. He then takes out a pail of gravel, pours it into the bucket, sifts it in, then asks, is the bucket full? Everyone says no, because they're a bit wary now. Then takes out a bucket of sand, pours it into the bucket and sifts it in. He then asks, is the bucket full? Everyone says no again. Then takes out a pail of water, pours it in, and asks, is the bucket full? For some reason everyone says no, but it actually is full. Then he says, what is the purpose of this demonstration? One of the students says, is to say that you never can have too much in your day. He says, maybe, it could mean this, but that's not what I'm trying to tell you. He then says that you have to put in the big rocks first, before you can fit in the gravel. Then the sand will fit in, and then the water. This is the only way all of that can fit into the bucket. Sairam, thank you.
A big round of applause. Those are some amazing topics that our SSE children talked about today, and I think very important topics for the current times that we live in. And indeed, just listening to all of them talk, they are definitely the stars of our future, and they'll shine very brightly. And a big thanks to our SSE teachers and our amazing parents who have helped these children grow. one of the key motifs of Swami's physical time on earth was service. Service came so naturally to him, even when he was just the age of these lovely SSC children that we just listened to today. It's just very common knowledge about the big water projects that he's done, but to know the intricacies of such a phenomenal project. We will now watch a short video about this life-saving service. Recap of this year's Fiji Medical Camp. It was an absolutely exciting time for all those involved after a 2-year hiatus with COVID, and it gives me personally a great amount of joy to talk about this experience. And I would also like to invite Dr. Amit Lad, our Centre President, to also come up and share his experiences with me. So for me, this is my first time ever going to such a camp. I grew up hearing stories about the Fiji Medical Camp at Budgeons, and as a teenager, and I didn't really give too much thought again about it until I was about to graduate medical school. And it was around this time, so 2020, when I was meeting a lot more people within the organisation and being taken under their guiding and caring wings. And I remember the first time I met Uncle Krishna, who I'm sure lots of us know. He's one of the key organisers for the medical camp. And as soon as he found out that I was about to finish medical school, he said, "You're coming on the next camp." And that was that. As I've learned over the years, when Swami gives you an opportunity, you don't say no. I used to always kind of as a child shy away from things and be like, oh, no. But as I've grown up, I've learned if he gives you an opportunity, even if you feel that you don't have the skills, you just say yes and you see what happens. And so we got to Fiji and I had no idea what to expect beyond the tropical fruit and the cream buns and the coconut water. And I was absolutely nervous, I won't lie, on our first camp. I was the most junior doctor there. I didn't know what I could offer. I couldn't speak a word of Hindi, I couldn't speak any Fijian. I was so worried, but all that worry went away. I was so well looked after by all the doctors, the nurses. I remember if I was late to lunch, the aunties would come and nag me saying, "Why haven't you had lunch? Go." So it was beautiful to be so loved in that way. And I got to meet some of the Fiji young adults who I've only ever seen on Zoom calls, and I tell you, they might be small, but they're an amazing bunch of young adults, and it felt like I'd gained a whole bunch of brothers and sisters. So that was a bit of a snippet from a first-timer. I'll hand it over to Uncle, who has more experience with these camps.
Salam, dear brothers and sisters. Some of you might know that this project has been going on in Fiji for the past 18 years. But because of COVID, we had to skip for the last 3 years, and then all of a sudden the borders opened up, and there were a few uncertainties that were sorted out, and so we finally all of a sudden decided, okay, let's have medical camps revived in Fiji again, and we locked in the dates over here in New Zealand, and once we announced it, it didn't take too long for us to get a pool of volunteers, and there were some doctors from New Zealand and from Australia also. They all joined us, and networking with the SAI organization in Fiji also. We managed to get the venues sorted out within a short period of time. There were 46 volunteers from Australia and New Zealand and about 24 from Fiji. We had quite a few doctors, and amongst us we had some specialists also. We had gastroenterologists and psychiatrists, pediatric senior registrar who did minor surgeries and all. We have an oncologist, a urologist, a gynecologist, and some of them were based from the local Lautoka hospital, being specialists and all, but most of us operated through the camps there. And also we had nurses and pharmacists and dentists. So we had I think 4 dentists and physiotherapists and optometrists, dietitians. So we had a big range of specialties over there. And I don't know who was the oldest in the camp, but I can tell you the youngest was only 3 years of age. 4 years. Radha was all accompanied her parents, but she was, she was very cheerful and everything, and we loved to have her around, cheer us up. Unlike before, because the dates did not coincide with the school holidays, we had to look around for alternative venues. Before, in the past, we used to go during school holidays when the classrooms were made available to us. So permission from the Ministry of Health and the Ministry of Education and the schools, we could use those venues for our medical camps in the past. But because it was not school holidays, so we had to go around looking for alternative venues, which in one way really worked for us, because it gave us opportunities to explore other ways of conducting these medical camps. Can we have the first one where there is the map of Gulab? So these are that's the main island in Fiji, Vitilevu. So we concentrated in the western region and central region. The 4 camps along the coastal area, they are more in the western area, and then we went through to Kayasi, which is in the central region. Kayasi is very remote, and so, but there was I'll tell you later on, a particular reason why we went to this venue. So on day 1, we went to Ra Maternity Unit. We went to, there is a maternity unit in between Rekireki and Tailevu. So our camp was at the maternity unit. This maternity unit is run by the Catholic Mission in Fiji. And so we actually were assisted by the staff, nurses and all in the local villages who came and helped us at this camp. The second one, on day 2, we actually came to our hometown, Bar town. There is a big bure type, hall type venue over there. It's owned and run by the Bar Town Council, which was very appropriate. It's a very large, very spacious venue. And here again, the town council employees also came and helped us set it up and all. So it all worked for us there. And then on 3rd day, we went to a place called Tangi Tangi. This actually venue is a Gurdwara run by the Sikh community. So again, another community group that we networked with, and we used their venue over there. It was nice, though a bit smaller for our requirements, but everything worked perfectly for us over there. The Sikh Bhaiji also helped us running the camp, and there were a few others locally who came and helped us. Day 4 was a very grueling drive all the way up to Kayasi, place where we stayed. In Lautoka. We left, I think about 4:30 in the morning. We caught the bus and went up to Kayasi, which was a 4.5-hour drive, of which 2 hours is on gravel road. For those of you who have traveled on gravel roads in Fiji in a bus, it can be a bit daunting. The thing about this camp was because of the distance and all and the number of patients we saw, we had our dinner after we finished camp. We saw last patients at about 9:30 p.m. So 8:30 to 9:30 we were all consulting, and 9:30 we started packing up and had our dinner at 11 p.m. and by the time we reached our hotel it was 2 a.m. So that was a very long day for most of us. Radha managed it very nicely also, so did all of us. And the last one was at Visesi Sai Health Center. The Sai organization runs a health clinic in Visesi, which is in between Latoka and Nendi. So our last camp was at the Sai Health Center. In total, we saw more than 2,000 patients at these camps. So, though most of them were screening and simple problems and all, but we did come across some patients with some rather sad problems, and we were happy to help them out. So I'll let Mr. Arvi go ahead and tell a little bit about what her experience and how she dealt with situations there.
Going back to Uncle talking about Singatoka, where we kind of left around 4:30, 5 o'clock, and then didn't get back until 2 a.m. I mean, yeah, it was such a long day, but it didn't feel like it, you know, like when we got back to the hotel, I was actually like, oh, it's actually the next day. It's not Thursday anymore, it's Friday now. To put it kind of in perspective here, like at the hospital, a long day is kind of like 8 in the morning till 10 p.m. and you kind of do it and you're like, oh, when's the day going to end? But like this, it was, I've told my friends, I'm like, that was the best long day I've ever done. Because like it's just so fulfilling. The people in Fiji, they're so grateful for the smallest things. You can just give someone a bit of paracetamol and they thank you with all their heart and they say, God bless you, God bless you. And it's so fulfilling. Or they just want someone to hear them and they're so thankful that you just took the time to talk to them. Even if you didn't change anything, even if you gave them nothing, just they're such grateful people. And hearing some of the stories of how patients got to some of the camps, I remember, I think it was maybe on our last camp at Lotoka, this auntie, I was seeing her, I was like, oh auntie, your blood pressure is very high, did you take your tablets this morning? And she said, actually no, I left home at 4 a.m. so I could be here at 6 a.m. because I was waiting for you. And she had just like, you know, because she lived so far away, but she had to get to this camp because for some of them, this is the only time they get medical treatment. You know, here in New Zealand, we're so lucky. If we want to make an appointment, we just see the GP. There, they just wait for us. And I didn't realize any of this. I didn't realize how much sacrifice these people put until I came. And it just made me so grateful for what we have here in New Zealand. It was quite beautiful at the end of our Singatoka and Lotoka camps. The locals, they would sing us these songs, like the local songs of like gratitude and things to us. And I took some recordings, and every time, you know, if I'm having a bad day at the hospital, I just play those because there's so much love and there's so much gratitude from them. And the Fiji people, they are absolute examples of what gratitude and love is, honestly. And I mean, there's lots of experiences, I won't go into all of them, but at the end of the day, I think the main taking for me as quite a young doctor who's still learning the ropes is that I just left the camp so much more determined to learn and study more. It's just so easy in our competitive Western world to just study because we want to be better than our colleague, you know, we want to earn more than our colleague or be higher up than our colleague. But I left that camp going, I don't want any of that. I just want to learn and study so then I can help these people, because the more I know, the more I can help these people. And so that was my, I think, that transformation moment, which is why you go to these camps as well. And I'm very thankful that I got included. It's all Swami's timing at the end of the day. So that's my takeaway.
Yeah, we don't realize how lucky we are in New Zealand. Just to put you in perspective, there was a patient who came in, actually he saw Dr. Prashant at Kayasi. To reach on time, to be seen and to return home again, she had left her home at 4 a.m. and she swam in a river to go on the other side and then walk to the camp. She reached the camp about 8:30, 9 o'clock. By the time the numbers had been issued, there was a big crowd over there actually by the time we reached, that's at Kayasi. And she got seen. It was after 4 p.m. And then now, okay, Prashant just asked him, Dr. Prashant just asked him, so when she said that how she has come, and Prashant asked him, so how will you go back? Oh, he says, I'll go back the same way. So, but he says, it's 4 p.m. He says, no, that's all right. I'll sleep here at the hospital, somewhere in one corner. I'll sleep, and tomorrow morning I'll just go back. So easy for them. It wasn't no big deal for us, but just imagine, brothers and sisters. Imagine this in her. The other thing is, when we finished the camp at Kayasi on at 9:30 p.m., we finished the camps, and Dr. Aminoni, who is in charge of Kayasi Hospital, and he came to me, and because I was introduced to him as the coordinator for all these things, so I'm the guy who goes and sources all the volunteers and all. So that's how I was introduced to him by the local coordinator from Fiji. So he approached me and he says, Dr. Lam. I said, yeah. Oh, bro. He says, I haven't seen anything like this. I said, what happened? He said, tell me, how do you go around looking for people like this to work the way they did today? How do you do that? I said, look, I didn't go around looking for them. We just announced that there is a service activity going on. Half of them don't know about Swami. They have signed up for it. They have joined us over here. The only thing that's driving them to come to this camp is their passion to serve society. That's the passion they have. Just because they have this passion to serve society, they have signed up and they have come over here. They paid their own airfare, they're paying their own accommodation, and they're here. And you have seen how they have worked. So, just to let you know that we now think that it is a worthwhile project to continue with. So for next year, we have locked in dates for next year's camps. It will be on 23rd to 29th of July 2023. So, brothers and sisters, if you are passionate about doing service, come, have a go. Who knows, you might sign up for it just for one camp, and you might leave thinking, no, this is what I want to do year in and year out. So, if you are passionate about doing service, let us know and we'll see what we can do. We are planning mini camps also. There will be not so many volunteers. We might, and the other thing is it will be an experience for you also, that we most likely will be going in a ferry and going to the remote islands. So small islands, remotely located places where 90% of people living in Fiji have never been to. So that's what will happen next year. So with that, I leave you till, we hope to hear from you again. Sayonara.
To the Fiji medical camp. I think Uncle is very humble, but honestly he's done a lot of work behind the scenes. I've only seen the surface of it, but I know he does so much, so I think he deserves a special round of applause. And to bug him more, I will ask Uncle actually to come up just to talk about what's been happening even more locally in terms of the service activities we've been doing in Hamilton this year.
In Hamilton, we are doing some service activities which you can sign up for. Our main service activities are, one is Brother Moses, Sister Kuven. They are running SSE classes every Sunday over here. And you have heard the students talk about it, how passionate they are about values and things like that. So if you think your children will benefit from attending these classes, please send them. And I'm sure you shouldn't think about it. They will definitely get value out of it. Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry, I didn't see you. Sorry. Sister Maya is also involved in this project over here. Sorry, sister. And then on alternate Tuesdays, we have a soup kitchen over here. Brother Chetan and his team, they cook the food. We get the vegetables and all. And we serve over here. On an average, 15 to 20 recipients come over here. These are people who are poor, and we serve vegetarian food, freshly cooked food, and they come in again and again because what they say is the love with which they are served over here, and vegetarian food, nourishing food, is what brings them back again and again. And on the other second Thursday, so alternating with that, on Thursdays, we supply cooked lunches at the men's shelter in town. So
On Tuesdays.
On Tuesdays. Oh, sorry. Senior moments. So that is alternating with the soup kitchen over here. We have lunches at the men's shelter. So that's happening on Tuesdays. And then we also work in conjunction with the Hamilton City Council. That happens every maybe 3 or 4 times a year, where we have sort of adopted a park over here, the Minogue Park. And we go and plant trees and pick up rubbish and make sure that place is well prepared for our next generation. Hopefully by the time the next generation comes in, that will be a forest and not just newly planted areas. So that's what we are timing for. Like the SSC students have said, looking after the environment. So we have to be a bit more practical, giving them opportunities to sort of practice whatever they're being taught over here also. And anything else, Gulab? No, and Thursdays we have our practice over here, but we have our devotional singing. And if anybody wants to learn how to sing bhajans and all, we have beautiful bhajans over here. And let me tell you, it takes a lot of practice to become a good bhajan singer. And so alternate Tuesdays after the soup kitchen over here, if you want to learn some bhajans, come in. We have got some teachers who can really help you over there, improve your bhajan singing. You are most welcome to come in and join us. It will be starting at about 10 to 7 and it will go on till about 8:30. So on an average. So come and join us and sing bhajans. Okay, Sairam.
Sarah, I would like now to invite our guest speaker, Dr. Bernard Gulliman, to come to share some words with us. Dr. Gullivan first came to Swami in the 90s with the loving encouragement of his mother. He was blessed by Swami to be an honorary lecturer in Prashanthi Nilayam for just over 10 years. New Zealand has had the great fortune of his roles in the organisation, including being one of our early youth coordinators who helped several young adults go on pilgrimages to Puttaparthi and have interviews with the Lord himself. So please give him a warm welcome.
Say Ram to you all. It's very delightful to be here. Can you hear me all right? And I must say I've absolutely loved the program this evening. You know, my praise to the SSE youngsters, particularly the young ones. I would never have had the courage to speak like they have spoken. No, and it is really quite adorable. And the mix of activities that we've seen tonight have been absolutely delightful. There's something in my heart that I need to share, and the only way I can kind of phrase this, and those who know me know that I have to conform to a certain discipline that Swami gives me, which is I must never prepare. So I come cold, and I pick up from the environment and what I hear and from the people, what it is that he would like said, and so these are his words, which I share with you. So the question that he wants us to ponder is a very simple one. What is it that makes the Sathya Sai organisation different from any other? There are many organisations that do beautiful service and very loving service. There are organisations that look after the children, that give them profound human values, that lead them up in society beautifully. But what is it that makes the Sathya Sai organisation completely unique? What is it that does that? And if we lose sight of that, then we lose sight of what would be the word? It's much more than magic. No, it's not. It's much more than magic. It's just the pure gold that he's come to bring us. So, what is it that we need to remember? What is it that he has told us, and time again, which unfortunately we kind of hear it, and then we forget it, and we carry on with our normal lives, again and again and again and again. And I'm just reminded that each one of us, and I'm trying to communicate with each one of you the truth about each one of you and me as well, is that this is one life of thousands of lives that we've been through. And we've done this again and again and again and again and again. We've been there. We've been there. We're just so fortunate that he's come. And we're born at the time when he was here physically. And why did he even need to do that? Why did the Lord himself need to come and do that? And the simple answer is, and he puts it so beautifully, the spiritual teachings over the years have been so corrupted that they are barely recognizable from the purity and pristine condition that they were first in. And that's one of the reasons why we need to, each one of us, make sure that we connect with his teachings and try and understand his teachings, because they are not the same as what you will find everywhere else. That's why he came. They're not the same. What's the very first message that he tries to impart? And I'm just so touched because I look at his life and I look at how he you know, day by day, year by year, decade after decade, he tried to pass the same message on to us again and again and again and again. And he never stopped. Even though we just weren't hearing it, he just did it again and again and again and again. And what did he want us to know? Well, the very first thing he wanted us to know is he said, you know, you all think that you're separate. You all think that you're little bodies. You're all afraid of some people and you're very happy with others. And you kind of look at the universe with a certain degree of, I'm just a little thing in this universe wandering around. And he said, that's not true. That is not true. The truth is that you are God. And that was an incredibly important message for him to convey. Now, we easily forget that. And indeed, I can remember a story that I heard which was, you know, very powerful for me. As you know, at Prashanti, Swami used to give much attention to the boys. And they would be closer to the mandir. In fact, while I was teaching at the institute, I would be amongst them, which was just an absolute delight. And on one occasion, he came to the boys all in front of him, and he asked a series of questions. And he said, do you believe in Swami? Yes, Swami, they said. Do you believe in Swami? Yes, yes, yes. Do you love Swami? Yes, we love Swami. Do you believe that Swami is God? Yes, we believe that Swami is God. Do you believe that what Swami says is truth? Yes, we believe what Swami says is truth. Then why don't you believe me when I tell you that you're God? And that actually is the situation that we find ourselves in. We find that hard to comprehend. But that actually is the truth. And the second thing he tells us, which is equally important, is that throughout this creation, there's absolutely nothing that you meet that's not you. Absolutely nothing that you meet that's not you. Now, I spoke about what is it that makes this organization so special? What is it that makes, for instance, the service that we do? Why is it different? Well, it should be different. How should it be different? We should remember that we are God, and that the person that we're serving is God too. And so we're serving ourselves. Now that's a huge, huge change. That's a difference. No other service organization does that. No other service organization approaches it like that. They always think, I'm helping somebody else. And as we feel that way, then what Swami says is, you're just reinforcing the delusion that everyone is living in. You're just reinforcing that. And he even describes, he says, I'll tell you how you think. I'll tell you what is going on in your mind. He says, this is what you think. You think that there's some mighty power out there. It's unknown to you. It's very distinctly different from you. And it's far, far away. And thinking thus, you adopt all sorts of what you call spiritual practices to try in some way become united with that. And Swami's very tough when he talks about this topic. He says that is sheer ignorance. And when I first heard those words, it jolted me. I thought, Swami, I'm trying so hard. Why do you say that that's just sheer ignorance? And he says, because you're imagining that you're separate. And if you start this from that point, you'll never reach where you want to get to. You've started from the wrong point. You must start from the point that you are God. Now you can call it Atma, he often does. In one of his discourses, you read these discourses, which I do laboriously, every day. I study these, laboriously. And then one day he said something in these discourses, and it finally clicked with me. He said, another name for Atma is just awareness. And I thought, that's right, because I am aware. And actually, everyone else is aware too. And so also are animals. And actually, he says, everything in creation is aware. And then you say, gosh, if everything's awareness, and awareness is God, perhaps that's a way of understanding that everything's God. Everything's God. Now, it's a really good thing to ponder and say, Swami, you say that I'm God, and I do believe you, though I'm trying, but perhaps I'm not doing so well. Why is it that I'm not actually experiencing that? And on one occasion, Swami came back from darshan, and he sat down in his private rooms, and he was shaking his head like this. And somebody asked him, Swami, what's wrong? And he said, they still think that there's something here which is not in them. And you could hear the frustration in his voice, saying, what do I do? What do I do to convince them that there's nothing here, and this is Swami, there's nothing here that's not in there. They're always looking at me as if there's something different. Now, you say, well, Swami, you're able to do amazing things, and I'm not. And he says, well, yes. And of course the next question is, why? And he gives us a very simple answer. He says, the sole reason is, my mind is pure, yours is not. Your task, purify the mind. Quite simple, purify the mind. The very first thing he says that you must do, very first thing he says, is stop believing that you are this body. Stop believing that you are this body, because you are not the body. And he makes it, says, how can you be the body? You can see it. How can you be this body? Why do you keep on thinking that you're the body when you can see it? Can't be the body. The next question is, so who are you? And indeed that's one of the questions that he wants us to ponder and continually ask ourselves. As we go about our day, ask yourself quietly, who am I? Because I'm not the body. Am I this mind? Gosh, I hope not. Swami looked at me one day amongst all the students and he said, sometimes screw loose. Now, if you understand that from a mechanical standpoint, it wasn't complimentary, by the way. Screw loose means, this machinery doesn't work very well sometimes. Absolutely true. Are you the mind? The answer is no. How could you be the mind? Why? Because you can see it. You can observe it. And then he comes back and he says, so what really are you? And the answer is, you are that awareness that watches all of it and is untainted by all of it. Never gets tainted by it, watches it, and he says that's Atma. But of course we have to play in this drama, the drama of life. But we need to keep on reminding ourselves, who am I? I'm God and nothing else. What is everything around me, including, he says, this, and he says even the mosquito. Do you realize the mosquito's God too? So there's nothing that we see around us that's not us. Now that makes a big difference, because now, as he says, there's nothing other than you, and there's nothing higher than you anywhere. Nothing other than you, nothing higher than you. Now if we go about our work in the community with that in mind, that's a big difference. That's a big difference. Sairam.
Sairam. I'm not part of the agenda. Just wanted to say a few words. Brother Pandit, thank you so much. It's a very profound message that we dare to think that we are divine. But that's the essence of what Swami has been for 85 years, trying to preach to us. But I'm not here to speak about that. I want to talk about the sharing by the SSC children. Dear sisters, some of you will know, and I'm glad there are some doctors here as well. I work in the hospital, I work at the mental health facility. I've been there for almost 18 years. And I've seen the tragedy, the trauma of children, adolescents, teenagers, their life torn apart by an illness that will not go, mental illness. It's a great tragedy in this country. It's almost 25% of the population have a mental health issue. And the ministry and the government have been spending millions, if not billions, trying to address and resolve this, trying to rehabilitate this young adolescent population back into the path of normal life. I hope there's no price here. But I don't see any success there. I've not seen. Because we see them coming back, like the revolving door syndrome, you know. Keep coming back. Very few get out of it. Today, it must be by the divine will when these several children came up and spoke. And the first young angel who spoke about truth, then came compassion, then came self-love. Mark the word, self-love, not selfish love, you know. It's not about loving yourself. It's loving your higher self. And then the others came in. And I realized the truth that was uttered by these very, what you call pure children, is something they picked up from the SSC teachers. But this is for me I realized this is the template, the recipe, the secret, the formula to change the problem the nation is facing. Dear sisters, the ram rates, one day the law of karma will happen that you will ram, from ram rate you will ram your head. For the damage to cause to nature, nature will retaliate. It's a serious problem in this country right now. And this formula that we have, the SSC program, and the dedication of the SSC teachers to transform the young minds now, to become great souls, great servants of this country now. I like to make an appeal to every parent here. You can do one service for the Lord. Whoever you believe, it's not necessarily Bhagavan Baba, whether Krishna, Rama, Krishna or Shiva, whoever it is. If you can just tell another young parent with a young child, give the child a chance to attend this program. If one person changes, that person has the potential to touch the hearts of another 10, 100 people. If 10 children today go out, they can touch another 100 children. And tomorrow, that 100 becomes 1,000. And the future of this country will be saved because this becomes the responsible adults on the path of righteousness, on the path of values. People don't realize that there's a treasure trove here waiting to see the blossoming of the children. I wish we can sell this to the government, but the government is not ready to accept this. So it's up to us, as Swami, as Gandhi said, for the world to change, let me be the change. Each of us can play that change. Each of us can take this message. Today I saw some children spoke about some great values. And they are not children speaking about values for themselves. It's for all of us. For us to reflect, recollect, and imbibe those values. And if this can be passed on to more children, to more parents, then there is a future in this country. This great country. That we all have come in and become part of that nation. We need to help that people out there, that group of people who are lost. And we can do it. These are my thoughts I'm just sharing with you. I asked Brother Ambrose Kamsha, I'm not supposed to speak, but I just felt so profound the message, so beautifully was presented. Thank you, Sarah.
Sairam, thank you, Uncle Gunnar, and thank you, Uncle Bernard, both for your beautiful messages just now. And I think the theme of SST has kind of come full circle, so it's only right that we give our gratitude and thanks to these children today. So I'll pass it on to the SSC teachers to give out the certificates for our amazing SSC children.
Salam everybody. My pronouns to and I'm really proud of my little children. I can't do this on my own. I have two lovely assistants who assist me every week. And just Corinne, my wife, and Auntie Maya, who, despite all the things that she's gone through this year, has helped to prepare the newsletters that go out to the parents so that they know what the children are doing each week. And that helps them to ensure that they practice the values that they learned. And the children have mentioned that to you, what they do when they learn those values. And yes, very well put and very well said, lovely one. So we will start with the presentation. I think Uncle Gunnar just spoke about what the other parents who need to bring the children. Very quickly about the program is we start on Sunday 10:30 and we finish at 12. It's 1.5 hour program. Whatever the values are learned, the information is imparted to the parents. And we also have a parent session which is run by Brother Avinash. So if you want to stay for the day duration that the children are at the classes, you're welcome to do so. Okay. So without much ado, I will call upon our youngest recipient for the certificates, for the presentation, for the good work that they have shown throughout the year, Lishangi. Auntie Maya will do the presentations. Okay, since we have all the girls on that side, we'll do the girls first. Shreya. And our special, not a SSC student, but a young adult, Tishani, who has been with us since at the time she has started in the SSC classes. She's been a role model to our younger ones. Tishani, thank you so much. Going into the boys, Ishtan. Ara. And Dio. These are the students that have been coming in for the face-to-face classes, and we're doing the online classes. Some of the students were online, but they stay far away. Some are in Hastings, some are in Auckland. They moved away, but they joined us during the online classes. We will send them their gifts and sing. There are some other students who couldn't make it for today, and we will acknowledge them some in a later time. Thank you once again to our lovely children, and well done on your presentation.
Towards this wonderful program today. My special thanks to Brother Bernard, who has come all the way from Waiheke Island today.
It's called Overseas.
And Brother Mark for kindly bringing him over all the way from Auckland and taking him back also, I understand. Or you're going to leave him here?
Mark, he's coming back.
Thank you for the most enlightening talk. Yes, Swami always, whenever he addresses a discourse, he says Prema Swarupa or Atma Swarupa. He doesn't refer any other way. He addresses us as divine beings or truth, embodiments of truth. So yeah, it's been, like you said, Swami has been repeating the same message over and over and over again. We still don't get it in our head. So an evening like this is not complete without a sumptuous meal. So I'd like to thank Brother Chetan and his team for preparing the prasadam for all of us, and also to Brother Rakesh, who has kindly made the beautiful cake for us also. And finally, as you know, for a program like this, we need people to attend. So, thank you all for coming over and being such a nice audience. And like I've said in the past, success of a program is not measured by the number of people who attend the program, but people who keenly listen to whatever is being said, spoken, or listen to bhajans and participate in the program. That dictates the success of the program. So thank you all for being a wonderful audience and participation in this program. So I leave you with Swami's love and blessings, and please enjoy the prasadam and the cakes and all. So we'll come to the next part of our program, will be birthday song and cake cutting. Na? Okay, just hold on. Na?
Swami
Sarvaloka